Most people thought that I was insane for moving to Ukraine during a war. And honestly, they weren't wrong. But now I live in one of the most unique cities in all of Europe. Training daily, building a brand, dating some of the most beautiful women on this earth. And honestly, I've never felt more alive than I ever have. So why did I do it? Why do I leave Canada? The country known for safety, comfort, and stability, to live in a place where most people wouldn't even visit right now. So this is my story, and if you ever felt like you were made for something more than the life that you're living right now, then maybe this will be your story as well. So my name is Brandon. I was born and raised in Canada, and I used to paint cars for a living in a body shop, making about $200,000 every single year. But at one point, I realized I was just trading my time for money. So I wake up, I go to work, I collect a paycheck, and just repeat that over and over. I had the money and the security, but I didn't have the freedom. And worse, I just completely felt dead. So I made a decision that completely changed everything. At first, I actually didn't know what I wanted. I just knew that I did not want that. So I ended up quitting the trades, got into sales, I did door-to-door, started my own marketing agency, and I ended up moving to Miami. So I made a decent amount of money and even scaled to $20,000 per month at one point. But I ended up getting very burnt out. I had got sick. I had to move back home. Then I actually got into real estate. I failed my real estate exam, then booked a one-way flight to Colombia, and I lived there for 2 years. I tried everything. I tried crypto, I did coaching, I did high-ticket online sales. And eventually I realized the one thing that I was chasing wasn't just money, it was freedom. Freedom to wake up and build my life, not someone else's dream out there. That's when everything started looking east. So I did some research. I looked at Poland, I looked at Serbia, Romania. But one country that stuck out to me was Ukraine, even though it was in the midst of a war. Maybe because it was in the middle of a war. Anyways, I booked a one-way flight from Canada to Poland, and then I ended up taking a one-way bus ride from Poland to Ukraine. There was no backup plan. I arrived and the culture hit me like a rock. The language was completely different, the culture is very cold, and everybody's very serious here compared to Canada. But it's also very raw, and it's very real, which I really liked. There's no fake smiles, there's no sugarcoating in the conversation. Life here is much harder, and it's a lot more honest. And for a man, that's the kind of environment that completely shapes you. So I had to toughen up out here. I had to get sharper, I had to become more self-reliant, self-aware. And the result, I stopped chasing comfort and started building power within myself. So out here in Ukraine, I live very well for a fraction of what I lived on in Canada. Rent is a third of the price. Groceries are extremely cheap out here. High quality, local, I can train daily and eat very clean and shoot content like this. Everything I can invest back into my business, invest into crypto or real estate, and that just means more time for growth and more momentum. So the dating culture out here is absolutely insane too. And let's be completely honest, let's not sugarcoat things. The women out here are on another level. They're beautiful, they're fit, they're feminine, and they're very friendly out here. You stand out instantly if you're disciplined, you're on a mission, and you're fit yourself. You have to be intentional, and it's not about just being rich out here. It's about being completely different. In Canada, most women, they don't respect the grind. Here, they absolutely admire it. So if you're a man with a purpose and you're locked in on a mission and you are fit, this is going to be the place for you. It forces you to grow. Ukraine is one of the places that will expose your weaknesses. And if you don't speak the language, you have to learn it. If you don't know how to navigate solo, you're going to have to learn how to do that as well. This environment puts pressure on you, and what pressure does is it builds diamonds. So I became sharper out here. I became more observant. I became a lot more confident as well. It's like every day out here is a test to make sure you level up and make sure you pass. And if you do pass, then you do get to the next level. The culture has a massive backbone. The people here have seen a lot of hardship, and they value strength and loyalty. These are things the Western culture are starting to forget these days. but the energy is very contagious here. It makes you want to be a better man, and you end up starting to show up for yourself and your family. There is a ton of white space here as well that the West is just missing. It's completely saturated back in the West. Out here, if you have vision, work ethic, and content, you can carve your own lane out here. Even like my Instagram and my TikTok, just by showing my life as a foreigner out here, it is blown up. And if you just document your life, that might happen to you as well. But especially foreigners who come here and they respect the culture, they're hardworking and they adapt, and they're not just here for cheap dopamine, you will gain a lot of respect here with the local community. It's honestly, though, not that easy living out here. There's daily air raid alerts. Sometimes Tinder doesn't work, and a lot of the girls sometimes flake on you out here. But then I wake up, I go to the gym, I record this content, and then I realize I'm living the life that I actually chose and not the life that was just handed to me. And that's what really matters. So if you're stuck in that life, it feels safe, but also numb. If you're successful on paper, but you feel really empty inside, then maybe it's time to unplug. I'm not saying you have to move to Ukraine, but you definitely need to leave something behind. Comfort, predictability, and weakness. So I'm not out here just building a business or a brand. I'm building a man step by step and brick by brick. If that resonates with you, subscribe. This channel is for men building freedom through fitness, discipline, and solo travel. So if you're ready to take your life to the next level, I'm going to be creating a community of like-minded men just like you. So reach out to me and I might be able to provide you with some help, but don't settle, build your sovereignty, and we'll see you guys in the next video.